This is Sonic, and you're watching JD Frank 20.
Yes, apparently Sonic Frontiers director says that the next game could drop the boost mechanic and be more like the adventure games. Now, obviously, you're probably thinking, like, a lot of people are getting sick and tired of the boost mechanic since the days of Sonic Unleashed. Unleashed, it was okay, was the first mainline game to have the boost mechanic, not counting the Rush series games. But then you realize that the boost mechanic games kind of gave the developers an excuse to make the levels shorter and have no creativity, and aka that's why they were lazy. Which is why Sonic Lost World was the only game in that time span that really didn't have a boost, not counting Supersonic's boost in that game by just holding on the boost button. That's about it, where regular default Sonic had the Spindash. Where, again, right now, the boost formula works for the Frontiers engine. It really does. When it's open world, open zone, whatever you prefer, it works, when you're exploring. Now, I know there's some people who are, have mixed feelings on this. It's not like unanimously like it was a few years back when they saw the Sonic Forces trailer and then they realized, oh crap, we're going back to the boost formula and everybody wanted the adventure formula. I understand. However, when it comes to Sonic Frontiers, the boost formula actually works when you're exploring. Now, if you want to go open world and then still go to regular zones, that's understandable. I'm surprised that when you go to cyberspace, they still kept the boost formula, where you could have just gone the adventure formula that way. Because again, because of time restraints, maybe that's why they decided, just keep the boost formula outright. It's understandable. Look, again, Sonic Frontiers, there were so many ideas implemented in the game, a lot of them got scrapped. Some of them needed more time, hence why you're getting the DLC updates starting this year. I understand, Sonic Frontiers at the end of the day, a lot of people could say, well, the game's good as it is already, but with the DLC updates, it's going to make the game even better. They're adding more enhancements so everybody doesn't feel left out. Now, everybody else wants the adventure formula back. Me, personally, I would prefer if they don't go back to the adventure formula, and here's why. I honestly think the adventure formula, it worked for those respectable games. It worked during that time gap. I get it. But going back to the adventure formula after being conditioned to the boost formula is not the answer. You would have to, because at the end of the day, like, why go back to the adventure formula? What is so great about the adventure formula? Yes, you get access to a Spindash, but what good is that? Here's a little bit of a fan art I made right here, or I saw right here, and apparently, how much momentum do you get from a Spindash as opposed to just boosting and that's it, and exploring? Seriously, the Spindash, on the other hand, the Spindash is never going to be like Sonic Adventure 1 Spindash. We could all agree on that. It's not going to be a Spindash where you can just spam it whenever the hell you feel like it, just to get a huge burst of speed and momentum and get some good skips or things like that. It's most likely going to be similar to Sonic Adventure 2 style Spindash, where you actually have to hold down and charge it and then Spindash. I don't like that. I don't like the fact where you just have to stop in place, charge up a Spindash just to get a burst of speed and momentum. I just think that's unnatural, again, with the way things are currently. Well, the Spindash may have worked back in the days, but in today's standards, it just feels out of place. Like, no, just stick to the boost formula. Why can't we just have both? Now, Kishimoto did say, like, he was testing around the idea of having both the Spindash and the boost at the same time, but again, because of time constraints, he had to scrap the idea entirely. Which is interesting. You don't have the Spindash, but yet you have the drop dash. The drop dash in Sonic Frontiers really doesn't make any sense. To activate it, it's very finicky. It's random when you want to activate it. The only time I found the drop dash useful is when you're climbing a mountain or an incline, basically. Basically, all the areas by Chaos Mountain, when you're trying to get to the highest peak area, and you're either by an invisible wall or some area like with ice, the best way to try to get more momentum is either go for the drop dash. If you can't, if you have to get up to the highest peak without obviously double jumping and boosting, and try to find an opening so you wouldn't do less backtracking. Look, at the end of the day, I honestly would prefer the boost mechanic. That's just me. I know a few years back I did say, let's just go back to the adventure formula. That is true. Look, if Sonic Adventure 3 is going to be the next game in the series, then I understand they want to go with the adventure formula. That's fine. I respect that decision. I mean, I understand, you know, if you want to drop the boost formula for one game and go to the adventure formula and just test the waters, that's understandable. And then if people don't like it or are mixed on it, you could always go back to the boost formula. Again, Sonic Lost World did that. You know, they tried something different with the hardcore parkour system, and again, people didn't like it. It wasn't well received, which is why Forces went back to the boost formula. And then, of course, Frontiers did the exact same thing. So, again, it depends the game if it calls for it. I don't get it. Why is it so difficult for Sega developers to just give us the boost and the spin dash? That way you have the best of both worlds. You satisfy everybody at the end of the day. Sonic Heroes was actually the one that started this trend where they got rid of the spin dash completely in favor of the Rocket Excel, which is a dumb ability. I mean, you could get a burst of momentum, but again, you have to stop in place in order to activate it, and it's very janky to activate. So yeah, I mean, it's really stupid. Just give us, if you want to give us a spin dash, make it similar to Adventure 1 spin dash, and give us a boost at the same time. Hell, Sonic Colors, you actually had that option. Yes, the spin dash, the way you used it was via the Spikes Wisp, but at the same time, you could boost simultaneously. So again, you know, Sega, how hard is it to give us the best of both worlds? Give us the spin dash and give us the boost. How hard is that? You should be developing that. You should already have that developed already for the Blue Blur. I mean, whoever's programming, how hard is that? Just make an option where you have that kind of style of Sonic with both abilities. You know, Sonic A and then Sonic B has the spin dash and Sonic C has the boost. You have 3 types of Sonics, test them out with all the levels, do so much testing with the levels, and then you go from there. Like, seriously, stop using the excuse because of time restraints. I'm sick of that fucking excuse. Enough of the excuses. I want resolutions. I want answers, damn it. Let me know what you all think about this, and I gotta go. Peace out.